Nelly Korda entered the final day of the 2026 KPMG Women's PGA Championship with a realistic chance of adding another major championship to her already impressive resume. The world number one had positioned herself well through 3 rounds, displaying flashes of brilliance mixed with moments of frustration. Although she began the tournament strongly and remained firmly in contention throughout the week, her hopes of lifting the trophy ultimately faded after a roller coaster final round that featured both spectacular birdies and costly mistakes. Korda opened the championship with a 2-under par 70. While the score placed her in a solid position, it could have been even better had it not been for a painful double bogey on the 16th hole. Despite the setback, she remained upbeat afterward, explaining that major championships are not won on the opening day but can certainly be lost with one disastrous round. Her calm mindset reflected the experience she has gained competing at the highest level. She backed up that confidence with one of the strongest rounds of the tournament on Friday. Korda fired a 4-under 68, producing 5 birdies while dropping just a single shot. Her impressive ball striking and sharp approach play pushed her near the top of the leaderboard, making her one of the favorites heading into the weekend. The third round, however, proved more challenging. She posted a 1-under 71, but the score did not fully reflect the opportunities she created. Korda repeatedly gave herself birdie chances only to see putts slide past the hole. After the round, she openly admitted that her putting had let her down and that several missed opportunities prevented her from climbing even higher on the leaderboard. Her frustration was evident as cameras caught her discussing the day's struggles with her pregnant sister, Jessica Korda. Despite those disappointments, Korda entered Sunday only 4 shots behind leader Haron Ryu. With 18 holes remaining, another major title remained within reach if she could produce one more exceptional round. A difficult start on the front 9. The final round began in disappointing fashion for Korda. Standing on the first tee with high expectations, she immediately found trouble after driving into a bunker on the left side of the fairway. Although she managed to recover well enough to give herself a chance to save par, she narrowly missed a putt from just over 5 feet, settling for an opening bogey. Fortunately, the setback did not linger for long. Korda responded brilliantly at the second hole. A perfectly positioned drive into the fairway set up an excellent approach shot that finished a little over 7 feet from the flag. Showing the confidence that has made her one of the game's best players, she calmly rolled in the birdie putt to erase the early mistake and return to even par. Unfortunately, maintaining momentum proved difficult. The middle section of the front 9 became the turning point of her championship challenge. At the 4th hole, Korda again failed to convert a makeable par putt, recording another bogey. The disappointment continued at the 5th, where another missed opportunity on the greens resulted in back-to-back bogeys. The putting struggles that had frustrated her during Saturday's round appeared to follow her into the tournament's final day, preventing her from capitalizing on otherwise solid tee-to-green play. At that stage, her chances of catching the leaders appeared to be slipping away. However, Korda demonstrated exactly why she remains the world number one. Rather than allowing the setbacks to derail her round completely, she produced an impressive response over the closing stretch of the front 9. She picked up a birdie at the 7th after recovering brilliantly despite her approach finding the rough. Her excellent short game allowed her to save the hole and move one shot closer to the leaders. Momentum continued at the 8th hole, where another birdie helped erase the damage from the earlier bogeys. By the time she reached the turn, Korda had battled her way back to an even par score for the opening 9 holes. While she had not gained ground on the leaderboard, she had at least kept her hopes alive entering the back 9. Strong moments mixed with costly errors. The second half of Korda's round began on a much brighter note. At the par 4 10th hole, she delivered one of her finest holes of the day. A powerful 244-yard drive found the fairway before she followed it with an outstanding 184-yard approach that settled just over 4 feet from the cup. She confidently converted the short birdie putt, briefly reigniting hopes that she could make one final charge toward the championship. That momentum, however, was once again interrupted 2 holes later. On the 12th, Korda surrendered another shot with a bogey, continuing a frustrating pattern of taking one step forward before immediately giving it back. She refused to quit. On the 15th hole, Korda once again showcased the elite ball striking that has defined her career. Another birdie moved her back into contention for a top finish, even if the championship itself was beginning to slip beyond reach. Then came the defining moment of her tournament. The par 4 16th had already haunted Korda earlier in the week when she recorded a costly double bogey during the opening round after finding the water hazard. Unfortunately, history repeated itself in dramatic fashion during Sunday's final round. This time, the trouble came from the opposite side of the hole. Her second shot drifted out of bounds to the right, resulting in a penalty stroke. The mistake proved devastating, and Korda eventually carded another double bogey on the very same hole that had troubled her 4 days earlier. The costly error effectively ended any realistic chance she had of challenging for the title. Although she remained composed over the closing stretch, recording pars on both the 17th and 18th holes, the damage had already been done. Championship slips away. When the final scorecards were completed, Korda signed for a 1 over par 73 in the closing round. Her 4-round totals of 70, 68, 71, and 73 gave her an overall score of 6 under par 282. At the time she finished, she was tied for 9th place, although several players were still completing their rounds. The tournament highlighted both the strengths and frustrations of Korda's week. Her driving and iron play consistently placed her among the championship's best performers, but missed putts and a pair of costly double bogeys on the 16th hole ultimately prevented her from seriously challenging for victory. Throughout the week, Korda showed remarkable resilience by repeatedly bouncing back from mistakes with timely birdies. However, major championships often come down to minimizing costly errors, and the repeated trouble at the 16th proved too significant to overcome. Although she left the KPMG Women's PGA Championship without another major trophy, Korda once again demonstrated why she remains one of the world's premier golfers. Her consistency kept her near the top of the leaderboard throughout the tournament, and despite an up-and-down final round, she still secured another top 10 finish in a major championship. The result also means her quest to complete the career Grand Slam remains unfinished. She will now turn her attention to the remaining majors on the 2026 calendar, hoping another opportunity arrives soon. If her overall performance this week is any indication, it may not be long before she finds herself battling for another major title once again.